Hi there, my name is Victoria Bowler, and today we are looking at some different pedagogical pathways that we could take with one rhyme, 2, 4, 6, 8. When we sit down to write a lesson or a lesson segment, we need two things. We need the song or another musical work, and then we need the actual learning activity. There are times that we are crystal clear on both of those things. So like I use this song for this concept. Maybe we find a song or an activity, a song and an activity that are printed in a textbook or modeled in a workshop. And that's a really convenient way to lesson plan. But in the real world, there are also times that we need a song to live differently. The way it lives in a resource like a video or a textbook or a workshop or a blog post, that might not necessarily be the way it needs to live in our classrooms. So when that happens, we can use our own creativity and our pedagogy skills to imagine new possibilities with a single song. Today we will look at one rhyme and how we might use it to accomplish 3 musical goals at 2 different grade levels. So if you're not familiar with the rhyme, this is 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. If I'm late, don't wait. 2, 4, 6, 8. So variations of this rhyme say meet me at the golden gate instead of garden gate, and instead of if I'm late, don't wait, it's if I'm late, do not wait. And you can hear how that changes that rhythm. There are many ways that we could experience this rhyme. It might be a finger play. Some people use it as a dance. Some people use it as a jump rope game. But for us, we are going to use it as a hand clapping game with a partner. So students are going to be facing their partner and they clap their partner's hands together and then their laps to a steady beat. So it looks like 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. In first grade, we are going to use this rhyme for rhythm versus beat. We will use it with ABA form and melodic dictation with so and me. Each one of these lesson segments is designed to take up between 10 and 15 minutes of an actual full lesson. Let's talk about rhythm versus beat in first grade. The first thing we're going to do is just play the game as normal. So with a partner, 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. Okay, then let's point to some icons for the steady beat. 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. If I'm late, don't wait. 2, 4, 6, 8. Great. All right, then let's clap the rhythm of the words. Here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. And students can choose, do they want to clap the rhythm of the words or do they want to point to the icons for the rhythm of the words? And then you say, I have a curious question for you, first grade. When we play this game and our hands are moving up and down like this, are we doing the rhythm of the words or the steady beat? And the answer is the steady beat. Okay, well that's fun, but what if we were to reimagine the game and instead of playing it with the steady beat, what if we played it with the rhythm of the words? So then you're standing in front of students and you just model that for them and they're acting this out with you. 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. If I'm late, don't wait. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so we'll need some practice with that, won't we, first grade? Yes, we will. So students are going to turn to a partner, but you can also invite them, hey, is there any other way that you could find to play the rhythm of the words with this game? An option might be 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. Whatever that is. So students take some time to work on the rhythm of the words with their partner. So reimagining the game for the rhythm of the words. Now, we could also extend this, so pairs of students might choose if they will clap the rhythm of the words or play the regular steady beat game. We could also have one partner clap the rhythm of the words and the other person does the opposite, so they pat the steady beat. And then we could also switch partners. Let's talk about form. Let's look at ABA form. So we'll start with students in pairs, in partners, and they'll play that steady beat game the same way that we just talked about. 2, 4, 6, 8. After they're done playing that steady beat game, let's have some rhythmic building blocks, and students can arrange those rhythmic building blocks in any order that they want. They are going to use 4 cards, but they can choose the combination. This is arranging. And then after that, we'll just perform it in A, B, A. So A, perform the rhyme and do the game. B is speak the text or the rhythm syllables for your B section. And then A, do the rhyme again, play the main game again. Now, if you want to kind of mix this up and add an extension, you could also have students travel to different parts of the room and read different people's rhythms as the B section. So when they are doing the A section, they would actually be walking 2, 4, 6, 8. And then wherever they land at the B section, they will play that other group's pattern, that other group's rhythm instead of theirs. So some ideas with form. Let's talk about melody. We are going to use melodic dictation with so and me, or a different way to say it would be that we are decoding so and me. We're going to start this the same way we've started the other activities, with students facing a partner and playing the steady beat game. And then, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then you say, hey, I have a curious question for you, first grade. When we play this game, do we start with a high motion or a low motion? We start with a high motion. And then you say, first grade, I have a crazy idea, but go with me on this. What if our words matched the motion of the game? Try it with your singing voice. 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. So you're just transferring this motion, the high and low motion, to that interval of a minor third. And whatever your hands do, your voice is following the melodic contour. This is a pretty natural thing for students to do. Normally, if you just say with that rhyme, if you just say, okay, now try it with your singing voice, they're automatically going to go to kind of a so me or a so me law tone set. So this is a natural extension of the speaking voice. And you could definitely stop there. That might be enough for one class. If you want to take it further, you are going to sing something on a neutral syllable and students decode what you've done. So you might go, loo, 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 loo. Students go, so, so, me, me, so. You might go, loo, 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 so, me, so. Or, loo, 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 so, so, me, me, me. So you're just improvising 4 beats at a time, and students are decoding what you improvise. And then the next step after that is for students to create their own patterns, their own combinations of so and me with their partner. Okay, so these lesson segments for first grade have explored rhythm versus beat. We've looked at ABA form, and then we've looked at decoding so and me. But what if we also need a lesson idea for third grade? So let's reimagine the same rhyme with some different musical concepts and musical skills, and this time we'll make it more pedagogically and developmentally appropriate for third grade musicians. With these lesson segments, we are going to explore rhythmic part work with a focus on ta-dimi. We're going to work on singing in a round or performing in a round, and we are going to work on low so on barred instruments. And these lesson segments are going to take between 10 and 20 minutes of a full lesson. So let's look at rhythm. Students are going to be walking in open space while they clap the rhythm of the words. So, right. And then let's add a rhythmic prompt. This isn't really an ostinato, it's just a rhythmic question. Oh no, I'm running late. I couldn't find the garden gate. Oh no, I'm running late. I couldn't find the garden gate. So, curious question for you, third grade. If someone says, if I'm late, don't wait, and then they actually are late, what would you do? One option would be that you keep waiting for them, or the other option might be that you go ahead and start without them. Let's say that you're waiting at the garden gate and you're going to plant some seeds and you decide just to go without them. Which one do you choose? Students have some choices. One could be no problem. No problem. And you just stay there and you wait for your friend. Another option would be looks like they're late. I'll start without them. Looks like they're late. I'll start without them. So students are going to choose their response and speak it 4 times in a row. It would sound like this. Oh no, I'm running late. I couldn't find the garden gate. Oh no, I'm running late. I couldn't find the garden gate. No, looks like they're late. Problem. I'll start without them. No, looks like they're late. Problem. I'll start without them. Looks no, like they're late. Problem. I'll start without them. Looks no, like they're late. Problem. I'll start without them. So let's put it together. We will have one half of the room be no problem, and the other half of the room is looks like they're late. I'll start without them. Students can choose which response would you have if your friend were late. So students are going to start out in open space. They're just scattered anywhere. And as they speak the rhyme and clap the rhythm of the words, remember we've already done this earlier in the activity, they are going to use that rhyme to walk to whatever side they choose. Either no problem or looks like they're late, I'll start without them. They make that choice. So they're walking 2, 4, 6, 8. Meet me at the garden gate. If I'm late, don't wait. 2, 4, 6, and stop. They're there, they're at their spots. And then you speak that rhythmic prompt. Oh no, I'm running late. I couldn't find the garden gate. And then students speak their chosen response 4 times in a row. We've already practiced this. And then speak the A section again. So we are in A, B, A here. The last kind of bookend for this activity is back in their spots. Students are going to speak each of those options on rhythmic syllables instead of on the text. So instead of, oh no, I'm running late, I couldn't find the garden gate, we would have ta, 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 di mi ta, di ta. And then looks like they're late, I'll start without them, ta, di mi ta, di mi ta, di mi ta. Ta-di-mi-ta-di. So we're just going to speak it on rhythmic syllables when we get back to our spots. Okay, let's talk about working in a round. Students are going to start the way we started this last activity, where we are walking around in open space, clapping the rhythm of the words while our feet keep that steady beat. Then we can decide if we want to come in first or second with a round. And you just say, friends, in this round, would you like to come in with the first group or with the second group? And students are just going to hold up 1 or 2 fingers. Whatever they choose, we're going to make 2 circles. So group 1, if you wanted to come in first, all of those people get in 1 circle. If you wanted to come in second, all of those people get in 1 circle. And then you just have them speak the text in a round. 1, 2, this circle goes 2, 4, 6, second, 2, 4, 6, 8. And you do it in a round like that. Okay, so after that, if that goes well, students can choose. Do you want to stay in your circle with the people speaking the same part of the round as you? Or are you ready to walk in open space and mix everybody up all together? So students can have that choice. They might choose to stay in the circle, or they might choose to break out of the circle and walk in open space. Either way, if you come in second, you still come in second, whether you are in that circle or you are walking around in open space. So this is just another level of part work interdependence. All right, our last activity is 3rd grade, working on the melodic understanding of low-so. And let's actually start this with body percussion. Let's play this together. Here we go. Great, so if that goes well, we can transfer this body percussion, take that same contour, and then sing it on solfege. Do, 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 la, la, so, do, do, so, la, do, 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 do. Now, depending on how much experience your students have moving from body percussion to reading on the staff, that might be the whole lesson right there. You might stop it. If students are ready to move on, then we can transfer that melody from singing on solfege to moving it to barred instruments. So if do is F, students just work with a partner to figure out the absolute pitch names for low la and low so. This is a very easy thing to do because we already know about steps and skips because we're working with low la and low so. So if we know that do is F, we know that low la is a skip below F. And if we know that low la is D because it's a skip below F, then we know that low so, which is a step below low la, we know that low so would be C. So students, if that is brand new information to them, then that would be probably where we want to stop. But if your 3rd graders have already had lots of experience with steps and skips on barred instruments and relating the barred instruments to reading on the standard 5-line Western staff, that will be no problem. The last step would be for students to work with a partner and figure out how to play this melody on barred instruments. We've done the melodic contour with body percussion, we have sung it on solfege, and then we have figured out the absolute pitch names if do is F. So the last step is just to play it on barred instruments. There are many other processes that we could walk through with this rhyme, depending on our musical goals and what students need from us at this particular moment in time. Today we looked at ways to explore rhythm and part work and form and melody, but there are many other melodic understandings besides, for example, what we looked at, like the interval of the minor third, so to me. There are many other melodic understandings that we could use with this rhyme. And then these activities used many different skills. We were singing, we were speaking, we were playing, we were moving, we were reading, we were writing, we were arranging, but we could also have used this same rhyme with an emphasis on things like improvisation or composition or listening. So there are many possibilities with one musical prompt. If you have a favorite way to use this rhyme, or if you just enjoy talking about ways to level up or level down a piece, I would love to hear from you. You can leave a comment below, you can shoot me an email, I am victoria@victoriabowler.com, or you can find me on Instagram, I am @victoriabowler. Thank you so much for watching and happy teaching.